Timeline's completely fucked.
And Sarah Connor really sucks.
This whole movie is such a bore.
And Arnold is like 84.
Dumb ways to write. So many dumb ways to write. Dumb ways to write. So many dumb ways to write. The director I would punch in the face.
This film makes T3 look great.
Kyle Reese is so jacked.
I hope Arnold will never be back.
Dumb ways to write. So many dumb ways to write. Dumb ways to write. So many dumb ways to write. Hello and welcome back to Cinematic Venom. Now, we've already gone through the first two amazing Terminator films, and the third one is up. And then in 2009, we got a fourth installment starring Christian Bale called Salvation.
It's just Christian Bale kissing about.
The film was intended to be the start of a new trilogy, but it was canned after legal issues with the Halcyon Company.
Other ideas were dropped, such as an animated Terminator film. But then in 2015, we got a fifth one that is so bad, we can make a whole review out of it. This is Terminator Genisys.
Genisys. Big blockbuster movie, and they misspell the fucking title.
We're off to a great start.
And apparently it's called SICE in reference to the computer abbreviation of system, but that doesn't make sense. Just changing the spelling of Genesis because it's a reference. No, not getting you out of this one. You misspelled the fucking title.
This is a film so bad, it was planned for a trilogy but flopped immediately, making all the sequel bait completely pointless.
However, creator James Cameron came out and claimed to have absolutely loved this film and called it the true Terminator 3.
Yeah, that's why he's rebooting it.
They remembered a green world, vast and beautiful, filled with laughter and hope for the future.
And then Terminator Genisys came along.
So we open with actually quite a nice shot of the war with absolute destruction going on.
But we soon hit the first problem. Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese. Even his voice isn't right for the part.
People lived like rats in the shadows, hiding, starving, or worse.
Well, who would you have cast instead of Jai Courtney?
Not Jai Courtney.
Is that a joke?
So we get a nice opening of Kyle helping prisoners out and fighting the machines.
That's not Kyle, that's John.
But he's younger than his own dad! This timeline has the son being...
Yeah, because he was sent back when he was young to father.
But he wasn't born in 1984! How could he send his dad back when he wasn't born? Why did none of the comments understand?
Yeah, but...
It's a loop! Loop this!
I'm on your side.
I can work with that.
So the film does have some unique and interesting ideas, as we get a CGI Arnie going back in time to retread some of the scenes from the original 1984 film.
By the way, what if Kyle didn't volunteer to go back? I mean, here, John gives an open invitation and he steps up, but what if he didn't? I mean, then John wouldn't have been born. What happened if he did not go back?
Someone else would have been his dad. Sergeant Johnson. Or Sergeant Smith. And then the savior of the human race would be called John Smith.
But then it would be different DNA, so it would be his dad. So it'd have immortals.
Bite me.
The odd thing is, this film portrays Kyle as not knowing that he's John's dad, but in the original film, although it's not actually confirmed, Michael Biehn's acting clearly shows that, yes, he does, and he doesn't want to let Sarah know.
Don't suppose you know who the father is, so I won't tell him to get lost when I meet him.
And John never said much about him.
His subtle reaction showing reluctance to tell her the truth is enough for me to believe that he knew. And then he even professes his love for her and claims that he travelled through time for her, so yes, he fucking knew!
I'll go back.
Why should I send you? Over all of them.
I am your father.
The film does kind of explain it, but none of it makes sense, so it doesn't count.
It stops here. Once you go back, my knowledge ends.
No, it won't.
I mean, Terminator 2 shows that the future Skynet knew the original Terminator failed, so they sent back the T-1000, causing John, who also must have known, to send Arnold back. You did know. John fucking grew up with a Terminator. Of course he fucking knew, the dozy cunt. I would really like to know at this point in the series which of these films count, because each of them, since T2, fucks with it in a different way. 3, you've got you could not be located, so TX was sent through time to eliminate your lieutenants. I've got a fucking big suggestion, Skynet. Send him back when he could be located. In Terminator Salvation, they mess around with it even more, and I don't know if Terminator 3 happened. Catherine Brewster isn't there. Every single one seems to be trying to be a reboot. Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles, the TV show, started pissing about Terminator's coming back every week. Woo! Every week. Woo! Terminator. It's like fucking Transformers. Then we get to this, which just goes, fuck it. T1 and 2 didn't even happen. They're in the fucking can.
You're being emotional.
Personally, I do like the build-up of Kyle going back in time.
But the problem is, look at him. Fucking jacked up motherfucker. Protein-shaped prick. When did he have time to fucking work out? We see in the 1984 film, he says, we live underground in fucking hell. We can't move. We can barely negotiate with our own people because we can't even see them. We're in dark corners covered in piss. We can't do anything. And then when we do come up, we're fighting Terminators. So how the fuck did he get all his gains? Jai Courtney looks so... I don't want to say perfect, because I am straight. It looks so perfection in this film. His muscles and everything. Oh, I did sound gay. He looks, with all his muscles, he looks like he's been working out more than Arnie. How did he do it? How did he achieve that physique? When was he chugging down the protein shakes on the battlefield, shooting a fucking robot? Gotta look good for when I go back and check Sarah. Gotta get my gains. These Terminators are fucking easy, I can work out where to stop shooting them. We even get a flashback to his birthday, but it's established that he was born during the fucking war.
This film has made absolutely no attempts whatsoever to even try to remain consistent with the original timelines.
I mean, the first 2 films have plot holes galore, but this has just added to it. It's taken bullshit and piled it on top of the other bullshit, made a leaning tower of bullshit, a bullshit sandwich, and made it way more complicated than it needs to be. Just bullshit.
I am ordering you to shut up.
So we finally see what Genisys is, other than a stupid typo, and it's a tablet kind of thing.
No way! Genisys will auto-update as soon as it comes online. You'll have it the moment it comes out.
It's an app. The new Terminator villain is an app. Links everything. Just like a phone. Just like we already have.
Yeah, no shit!
Meanwhile, back in 1984, an old Arnold shows up to fight CGI Arnold.
I've been waiting for you.
And I have my Zimmer frame ready, you young whippersnapper! I'll be back!
Nice try.
The thing is, the CGI on Arnold to look younger actually looks great. So why not do that in the first place? Why cast the old bastard? Just CGI him and dub his voice. They make up this bullshit excuse like, yeah, Cyborg's age now because fuck you, and that's why. Instead of just CGIing him for 5 minutes and then having old man River here walking around this fucking walking stick. Yeah, he needs to stop filming just to get his fucking hip replaced.
Yeah, but then all the Arnold fans like me wouldn't be happy.
But the CGI Arnold looks better than the real Arnold.
It does.
I know it needs work.
The fight itself looks okay, but the Terminator dies after 1 bullet to the heart.
Yeah, all the shit he went through in the first movie, he fucking got shot with a shotgun through a window, hit by a truck, car crash in a police car, all of that, fucking blew up, he had no legs at one point, climbing through a fucking chute like he was fucking Christopher Reeve, and then all of a sudden, just, pew! So it took, why didn't they try that? Oh wait, they fucking did!
Fuck you, asshole.
Meanwhile, we cut to the T-1000 who, instead of looking intimidating like Robert Patrick, he looks more like a geeky computer technician and not the least bit scary.
It looks like even we could kick his ass.
It's gotta be an alien, like from outer space.
It's a machine that kills humans. Uncuff me.
No, you're under arrest.
Okay, that was funny.
We're screwed, aren't we?
Pretty much.
Kyle Reese would never say that. All of the things that he says in this film are little throwaway jokes, which Kyle Reese wasn't about. He was a wiry, stressed out man who barely saw the daylight. This guy's fucking posing on the beach with his fucking Baywatch clan.
That hurt.
So they have a showdown before Sarah Connor, who looks about 12, shows up to make the save.
But that's not the issue. How about her elderly pensioner Arnold being dressed in a fucking hoodie like Michael Myers? Doesn't even look like a Terminator anymore. It looks like Joe down the street.
Went to fucking Sports Direct. I would like a new. I want your discount and your clothes.
I'm retiring soon.
Arguing with Calriss puts us at a strategic disadvantage.
Bite me.
That is a very immature response.
All right, you know what? That is funny, but it's not what a Terminator would say. I'm convinced these writers didn't even glance at the first 3 films.
I think they glanced at Terminator 3 because a lot of the dialogue's the same shit.
And then you attacked Pops?
You named it? Hello, calories.
Did he just say calories?
Hello, calories.
Kyle Reese is staying away from his calories, you know.
We must lose some calories.
Those gains.
Wait, what?
So it turns out, somehow, and we literally mean somehow, it's never explained in the entire 2-hour movie. We are in an alternate timeline where Sarah's already a badass like in T2, and she was raised with a Terminator since she was a little girl. He saved her from drowning, and has been protecting her ever since. Who sent him back? Who, what, where, why? Never explained. Sequel bait that failed miserably.
It is nice to meet you. Are you kidding me?
I've been trying to teach him to blend in.
Yeah, for 25 years or something. And you haven't taught him fuck all. He's still acting like a Terminator. John taught him the human emotions in about a week. He learned a lot in this. He doesn't show any emotion to what you've been doing for 25 years with him, playing drafts.
But this is not the mission.
It's what I'm trying to tell you, Reese. The girl that you came back for, she's gone.
Yeah, way to take away most of the charm of the original film, showing Sarah's entire transformation.
If the past can change, then so can the future. We can stop Judgment Day from happening.
No, you can't. The old fucker even told you in Terminator 3. It is inevitable. It's inevitable. You've been trying for 5 fucking movies. You're trying for a TV series as well. 5 movies and a TV series. You've been trying to stop Judgment Day. I'll go, look, it's going to happen. Let's just fucking bond together and let's just try our best. We know it's going to happen. Stop kidding yourself.
You said it happened because the past was altered. How?
Does that matter?
A good question. For another time.
Yes, actually, yes, it does matter. You can't just say, oh yeah, by the way, everything established in the other films, all gone, all changed. Why? What? No, I didn't hear that. All changed. It's all gone askew. I'm not going to bother explaining how, why, what, when, where.
Something happened.
Okay, so?
So everything's changed, and this is a Terminator film, and the logic is the writers are like fucking teenage girls who don't want someone to find out their gossip. Yeah. So what? You heard Tiffany say something. So what, honey?
And why hasn't Sarah got her 80s hair? It is the 80s. I'm missing that dude.
That's what I thought.
So Carl takes on the Terminator, but I have to say, where's Sarah's muscles? I mean, now I can talk about a woman, alright? I mean, in this universe's bullshit timeline, she's been training all her life, with a cyborg conducting it. And yet Kyle, who's lived underground and has had no training, is more built than fucking Jason Statham on roids. None of this makes sense.
We're all gonna die.
Anyway, the T-1000 mimics Kyle, but Sarah cleverly shoots one in the foot to discover the truth. Hey, an intelligent moment, that's rare.
But it doesn't last long because Arnold shows up and takes out the T-1000 by, get ready, grabbing his throat.
Again, everything in T2 that he went through, trucks, machine guns, explosions, all of that shit, fuck it, fuck that. All you gotta do, ready? 1, 2, 3.
You two are officially someone else's problem.
So Kyle and Sarah hide out in a warehouse where they find the time machine randomly. That was lucky.
The film also gives us some exposition, but it does nothing. It's make this entire story way too complicated. You should be removing complications by this point, but you're just piling it on top.
It comes online October 2017. When it does, Judgment Day happens.
So you're remembering the future?
No. The boy is the alternate timeline version of you. Calriss is remembering his own past, which is our future.
That makes it so much better. How can he be remembering two timelines?
It is possible if you were exposed to a nexus point in the time flow when you were in a quantum field.
What?
Mankind dies with us.
Look, I know I'm not what you expected.
You think? We would rather have the vulnerable guy who struggles and has actual challenges to overcome over Brock Lesnar.
But that's not what happened.
And then, I shit you not, Kyle and Sarah have one single scene where they begin to fall in love.
Remember the slow progression in the original? It was over the course of just a few days, but there was loads of bonding and development there. It's not just, hi, you got tits, you got arse, I love you, I guess.
And when Sarah hugs Arnold goodbye before time travelling, he doesn't even hug her back.
What about that human interaction you've been teaching him, you whore?
Just this whole movie, there's hardly any interaction. Like, oh yeah, it's been looking after me for fucking decades, and then it's just like, yeah, we love him, and then Arnold doesn't even give a shit. He's just, it's like she's stalking him. It's like she's just hanging around him. It's like, for the love of God, leave me alone. Oh yeah, he loves me so much. Leave me alone. I'm going back to Austria. Oh, we're so tight, we're so close. Piss off, you slag.
And what's with this? Look, they vanish. It looks like Arnold was just given the script.
What a nice guy Arnold is. They get transported right in the middle of a busy road, butt-ass naked, and get hit by a car full on, and survive.
That's impossible.
And the cops show up immediately before Arnold turns up. And, well, they've made him look older, but apparently that's his natural hair. He's actually grey. So you dyed it for the first half. Second half, you went, it's a few years later, let's make him look older. You don't need to make him look older. He already looks like Grandpa Munster. And not only does Kyle suck, but Sarah is just so bland and boring. She's not even the same character as Linda Hamilton. She's a disgrace to her performance.
Well, who would you have cast as Sarah instead?
I wouldn't have made it.
So this is where we get the flashback of Arnold saving Sarah as a child, but there's one big problem here. Someone apparently sent Arnold back. We never explained who, we never explained why, so it doesn't make any sense. They should have just... The fucking first movie should still be solid, concrete, not changed.
You do know they got no respect for the first two movies, right?
I've got no respect for people who like this shit. If you like this film, you're dead to me and unsubscribe.
And he's not exactly the safest guy to be around with his bazooka.
In fact, how would this even work? Small child walks in with a 6-foot bodybuilding Austrian leather jacket, bazookas in hand. Mum, Dad, this is my new friend. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Mom, Dad, the boyfriend's home.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'll get you a drink.
Anyway, we cut to J.K. Simmons, who's at least trying, but his character is entirely pointless. He's hardly in it, and he contributes nothing to the plot whatsoever.
So Sarah and Kyle have a pretend argument to be left alone until John shows up. How? I mean, this scene takes place in 2017. And we're an hour in, and Kyle and Sarah haven't had sex yet. And apparently John was born in 2004. They haven't had sex. So how is he even here? And guess what? 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 You ready? You ready? Ready? Never explained. There's even a part where Sarah actually asks him, how are you here?
How can you be here?
I have a million questions to ask you two.
And he dismisses it. This isn't just something you ignore. It's a fucking... This has taken a plot hole and fucking blown it out of proportion. You can fit Donald Trump's ego in that.
It's good to see you, Kyle.
You're alive.
Yeah. Of course I am.
Can you guys go in the next room and have sex so that I can be born? I'm not even born yet, and I'm here.
Anyway, we... I want an apology for anyone who says Terminator 3 is silly.
Me? I'm not sorry. Anyway, Sarah accuses him of being a cyborg, mimicking her son, which he dismisses, and proves it by telling her stories about herself, which a robot definitely would not be able to know, apparently. No way they can work that out.
That's how you knew where to come here?
Well, the timeline changed.
How?
What about you?
Yeah. How'd you end up in 2017?
Well, the same as you, Dad, just from the future, not the past.
Dad?
Daddy-o.
But now, John has some shocking truth for Kyle.
Sarah's my mother, Kyle. And you're my father.
Yeah, no pressure, but you gotta fuck my mum now. And it turns out, John is a Terminator. Yeah, the one thing John Connor stands against. And he's become one. 5 films building up this character, and now he's the fucking bad guy. It's almost funny.
And why do they always point a gun at a Terminator like it's a scary threat? It does nothing. It's like trying to drown Aquaman.
It's like trying to out-rap Eminem.
It's like trying to beat Superman in a race.
It's like trying to attack Mike Tyson with a little twig.
Skynet didn't attack me, Kyle. It changed me. See, I'm not machine. Not man. I'm more.
How? Tell us how!
You can't kill us. We're your parents. Without us, you're never born.
It's who?
Biology.
Science.
Basic human nature.
Logic.
Decent writing.
There's some options for you. So despite still not having been conceived, John is walking around and he's the bad guy. We get more exposition about Genisys. It's a fucking app! What more do you need to know? It's a phone! Have you noticed there's no memorable lines in this film? All the best lines are from the previous movies. Kyle Reese had loads of memorable stuff in the first film. It's like, screw all that. There's just nothing that captures your imagination in the dialogue in this entire film.
You should have told me. Do we have a son?
That John Connor is not my son.
Yes, he is. Keep saying that all you want. I know he hasn't been born yet, so I don't know how the fuck he's here. I don't know how he's become a robot either. It's nothing to explain. How the fuck did he morph into a robot? And, you know, the how and why is another issue.
In fact, since he's now the bad guy, shouldn't they just not have sex? Therefore, not born. Everyone's safe.
But then Skynet would win.
They're gonna win anyway. 5 films. You can't beat Skynet.
Yeah, but then John Connor wouldn't be born.
But that's John Connor.
Oh yeah. Movie sucks.
If you love me, you die.
That's not the concern. If we fall in love, you'll die. No one gives a shit about Kyle Reese. The concern is if you do have sex, a robot evil maniac will come out of your pussy.
And I hate when that happens. Anyway, so John copies Michael Bihn's speech, but butchers the entire delivery of it.
I can't be bargained with. Can't be reasoned with.
John, please.
I don't feel pity.
Pity. Pity. It is a pity.
And despite all of this, John still wants Skynet to win. Why?
Well, because he's Skynet now.
It's like making Superman evil. It's like making Batman mates with the Joker.
So a bus carrying our heroes ends up pulling 75 somersaults over a fucking bridge. Yeah, they'd be dead.
But not before stealing an exact scene shot for shot from Jurassic Park 2.
I've never seen him before.
How about you folks? You know this man?
No.
He does look familiar.
He kind of looks like you, Dad.
They're here, sir.
No, he doesn't. Like, literally nothing like him. He looks more like him.
During interrogation, apparently Terminators now have super hearing. Never experienced that before, but why not? Let's keep putting the sprinkles on this shit pile.
And then we get Sarah confronting a young Kyle Reese who is walking around because it's an alternate timeline, even though he wasn't born until the war or something. I don't know. It's never explained and it makes no sense. But here's an amazing shot of Arnold shooting whilst falling in a helicopter.
It's around this time the film suddenly grows really boring and tedious. The plot comes to a halt and nothing of any significance happens.
Liquefied magnetic shotgun shells. Magnetic rifle entry munition.
La da 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 da. La da 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 da.
I read about this on gunsandammo.com.
Is there a film on? Meanwhile, Genisys has now somehow become a woman body hologram thing. And when Sarah's in danger, Arnold finally shows emotions towards her and refuses to kill her.
And by the way, shouldn't John be fading away by this point like Marty McFly, considering his parents still haven't porked yet?
Anyway, they decide to rip off T2 by having Arnold sacrifice himself for Sarah. Or attempt to. And it's treated all emotional, but we've had literally not a single scene, not one fucking scene showing their closeness. Despite growing up together, despite having 25 years or whatever together, despite having more time together than the Terminator had with John. They have no emotional connection. She might think they do, but he doesn't. He hates the bitch. This death means jack shit. Remember in T2 when we spent 2.5 hours watching the machine bomb with John, so when it happened you cared and probably shed a tear. Like a pussy. I did, I still do. Yeah, strike that, reverse it. He even still calls her by her full name, robotically. Bring back Edward Furlong, I say. Maybe not.
So old Kyle Reese talks to young Kyle Reese and tells him exposition of the future so that old Kyle Reese will be informed, so then he can tell young Kyle Reese, who can then grow old and tell the other young Kyle Reese in the alternate timeline, which can then be converted to the 2015 alternate reality that Marty McFly can go back to, so then Bill and Ted can do something with Rufus, and then they can go, oh, you know, I don't even care.
So what now?
You're right. I can choose.
No, you can't. I mean, I guess you can choose, but you can either have John and conceive a Terminator that will take over the world, or you can not have John and Skynet will take over the world. It's a lose-lose! And if they don't have John, wouldn't that cause a third alternate timeline? How many fucking timelines do you need? You're now in a worse position than you were at the start of the film. You got no options. No John or evil John. Dick or no dick.
Skynet was gone. Now one road has become many. Though questions remain, we'll search for the answers together.
Nope, because this got no sequels and they quickly pulled the reboot plug.
And that was Terminator Genisys. Boy, it's bad.
I mean...
Wait, what the fuck was that?
They're trying to be intelligent. I think they've been watching Marvel.
Please tell me they're not doing a Terminator extended universe.
It just makes no sense, like the rest of the movie. This is the problem. The first two had plot holes but had a lot of entertainment value to back it up, and this doesn't. The dialogue, when not stolen directly from the previous installments, is boring or cringe-inducing. I didn't really mind the acting personally, but none of it makes sense. This one tries way too hard to be intelligent, but it is so confusing, so illogical, and so stupid that I have no idea how it got greenlit and distributed. And amazingly, Arnold said that it surpassed the second film with effects and even called the script incredibly well written. He even said, despite liking Rise of the Machines, that he considers this the real Terminator 3.
Yep, Arnold Schwarzenegger has officially gone senile. The first two films were both pretty much masterpieces, especially the second one. They had things to say about the human condition, they had great writing, great performances, and some really impressive special effects for the time. This is just Terminator done in 2015 for the sake of it, in the style of Transformers, with the writing of Transformers. Has that very difficult issue that all reboots of amazing films have. In order to surpass or at least equal it, you have a lot of work to do. Maybe you shouldn't make it because the odds of living up to it are so slim. Slimmer than me. Here it seems like this was slapped together on a weekend. Let's change the timeline, write over two of the best films ever made, and cast some good looking actors regardless of whether they're good or right for the role. And then just throw it out there. Hurl it out there for all to see like a public display of vomit. I don't watch a film about the piece of shit that Jeff Goldblum encounters in Jurassic Park remake.